Welcome to Discover Magazine's Technology Awards. Once again, Penn and Teller.
This is the Innoventions Showcase. It's inside Epcot at the Walt Disney World Resort. The exhibits here focus on technology that's just around the corner. A logical place to bring you Discover Magazine's 5th Annual Technology Awards. Every month, Discover Magazine focuses on the creative spirit of the men and women who work in the ever-changing world of science and technology. And tonight, this award show recognizes that spirit, saluting the finalists and winners in 7 different categories: automotive and transportation, aviation and aerospace, computer hardware and electronics, computer software, environment, sight, and sound. But inventions aren't always brand new, built from the ground up. Sometimes they're a combination of things we didn't always appreciate or see the value of. Sometimes they're new ways of looking at old things. Oh, take the bicycle, for instance. Now, bicycles have been around for a while. We just improved them. We looked, we studied, we thought, we fiddled around. And then it came to us. One of the wheels is just redundant. That saved a lot of manufacturing time, materials, and rubber plants. With a little retooling for balancing purposes, we came up with the Mono Peddler. Ow! The Mono Peddler, the very foundation of the PT-28. The rest of the PT-28 was put together with the same attention to detail. And hey, wait a minute, Teller. Teller? I think we're eligible in all 7 categories. Sure we are. That's great. First up, automotive and transportation. And, well, the PT-28 practically speaks for itself here. The PT-28 requires no fuel, relying solely on the power of the rider. It handles well, has good maneuverability, and its economically designed sleekness makes it really easy to find a parking space. Man, that was a thing of beauty. Well, we'll go through the formality of showing you the other nominees in each category. Worthy inventions, all of them, but hey, who is kidding whom? Okay, automotive and transportation, here are the 5 nominees.
In the category Automotive and Transportation, the 5 nominees are Espresso Concept Car, Chrysler. It's new, it's small, and it could be coming to a city near you. Meet Espresso, a short, hot blast of practical automotive innovation. This one-of-a-kind concept was the brainchild of Chrysler designer Ray Canara.
The goal of Espresso was maximum package, minimum footprint. What that means is we started with a neon, we raised the seats for chair height seating, we raised the roof for maximum headroom, and we opened up the windows for maximum visibility. There's even an onboard satellite navigation system to help you get where you're going. And we've added some creature comforts back here. We have a high-end stereo with woofers and tweeters. We have a personal computer on the other side, and we have a video game in the back for the kids. What we have here with the Espresso is a strong package with a good attitude.
Espresso is more than just a colorfully cute character. Chrysler also sees it as a serious urban commuter and the perfect family taxi. Lighter and shorter than most minivans, Espresso offers enough power to perform efficiently on both city and country roads, while at the same time cutting down on fuel consumption and pollution.
And besides all that, it makes you feel good driving it, too.
SRD2 Concept Car, Subaru.
Driving in California freeways between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., it's a nightmare. The state of California has done projections. In 1999, our traffic will double. And we all know what that means. That means more stop and go or more stop. So our answer to that problem is this car. Basically what we've done is cut the car in half. We cut the car in half so that you can cut your commute in half.
The theory behind Subaru's SRD2 tandem car is that commute time will be cut because congestion will be cut. Carpool lanes could be converted into tandem lanes, putting 2 cars where one went before. This full-scale model is just about 4 feet wide, yet its relatively skinny appearance is just one of its potential benefits.
You are almost a zero pollutant car by the fact that you're taking less weight, you're using less horsepower, and you're running on natural gas. And also you do less damage to the environment by building less freeways. You get in this car, it's like being in a fighter jet. We're not talking about a box. We're talking about a sports car. It's a really cool-looking car. I'm still in love with it, and hopefully everyone else will feel the same way.
Autonomous benthic Explorer, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. At the bottom of the ocean, strange and exotic life forms are sustained by biological processes that exist nowhere else. To better study these wonders of inner space, the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution has developed a different kind of vehicle, one capable of remaining submerged to depths of 20,000 feet for up to a year without connection to any support ship. It's the Autonomous Benthic Explorer, ABE for short.
The word benthic in Abe's name refers to the seafloor. ABE is an autonomous vehicle, which means it's not attached to the surface in any way, and of course it's unmanned. The idea and the plan is that we will be able to take it out on a relatively small boat, throw it over the side, and then come home, leaving the vehicle on the seafloor on its own doing some sort of research task. We intended ABE primarily for work in the area of the hot vents, which are areas of the seafloor that have been extreme scientific importance and interest. The long-term intention is for it to remain on the seafloor for periods of months and be pre-programmed before we deploy it so that periodically it comes to life, goes out, does either a camera survey or a sensor survey of some sort, then comes back to a home base, shuts itself off, and sits there and waits for the next event, whatever that might be. Historically, people believed that the deep sea was a giant mudflat, that there was nothing there interesting, nothing there worth looking at, nothing there worth investigating. In the last decade or more, the hot smokers, the clam fields, the giant tube worms, these were all things that nobody had any idea existed until somebody went there and looked for themselves.
And with Abe's help in the future, going there and looking will be a whole lot easier. Side Impact Protection System, Volvo. For years, automobile manufacturers have spent considerable time thinking about safety. Specifically, how to deal with deadly side impact collisions.
Volvo has introduced the world's first side impact protection system using an airbag. It is mechanically actuated, it has no wires connected to it, and it's totally self-contained in the seat. The system works like this. It consists of an airbag mounted in the seat back, 2 gas generators, and a trigger. In the event of an accident, the trigger is connected to the airbag system by a pyrotechnique hose located in the seat back. It moves through the base of the seat, up into the back. Mounted in this part of the seat are 2 gas generators. The gas generators fill the airbag, which inflates and sits between the occupant and the door.
Side impact collisions are responsible for more than 1/3 of all collision fatalities. But with this new system, that could change.
All of this takes place in only 12 thousandths of a second. 12 thousandths of a second.
Golf Ecomatic, Volkswagen. Europeans have had to pay 2 to 3 times more for gasoline than Americans, which may be why Volkswagen committed itself to discovering a way to reduce an automobile's fuel consumption. The result, the Golf Ecomatic. The principle, simplicity itself. When the engine isn't needed, the Ecomatic automatically shuts itself off.
The idea we had is kind of like a bicycle. If you pedal a bicycle, you want to move the bicycle forward. But if you coast down a bicycle, you stop pedaling. That's the same idea we had with the car. You turn off the engine if you don't need it. For instance, standing on the stoplight, being in stop-and-go traffic, you can turn off the engine. You don't need the engine.
The car restarts automatically whenever the driver presses the accelerator.
It sounds easy, but it's not. For instance, when you turn off the engine, a lot of systems have to still operate. So we had to make sure that these systems, for instance, the power brakes, the heating of the car, and so on, still operates. The benefit of this car is basically the reduction in fuel consumption by 20 to 30% and the reduction in emissions by about 50%. The Volkswagen Golf Ecomatic is not a fictional car. It's actually a car you can buy today as a consumer in Europe. Whether this car comes to the US will be decided in the future, and it depends largely upon whether the American public appreciates good fuel economy.
Now we'll reveal the winner. And then our dear, dear friend, Mr. Paul Hoffman, editor-in-chief of Discover Magazine, will explain why the judges selected us. Why the judges selected the winner.
In the category Automotive and Transportation, the winner is the Golf Ecomatic from Volkswagen.
The Automotive and Transportation category was very competitive. Each nominee presented a creative approach to some basic technological challenges. But the Golf Ecomatic gives something to everyone. To please the driver, it gets over 50 miles to the gallon with 22% higher fuel economy. To please the rest of us, emissions of carbon dioxide are reduced by 36% and carbon dioxide by 22%. Congratulations to the car with the engine that doesn't waste a moment.
So I guess they figure because one person's walking, it's not a means of transportation, huh? That's their thinking? You know, watching the other nominees, I don't think we give enough detail on the PT-28. I just don't think we, you know, people love that kind of behind-the-scenes, nuts and bolts kind of stuff. We just didn't give them enough of that, you know? So I think on this one, we should tell them how the PT-28 uses sound, which is coincidentally the next category. When the wheel spokes of the PT-28 hit the baseball card, the sound that's produced is converted to electricity by the onboard generator. That electricity powers teller's light and computer. Now, we couldn't use just any ordinary baseball card. Most of them didn't even come close to meeting our exacting technological standards. So we went through them one by one until we found this man, Ken Crasher Lewis, a wild-throwing southpaw who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn door when he pitched in 1962 for the now-defunct Washington Senators. Crasher lasted only 6 days in the major leagues, but his trading card, and only his trading card, attached to our PT-28 achieves the perfect pitch and endurance that he so desperately sought but could never find in that fickle game we call baseball. They wanted details. We gave them details. Okay, now let's see what those other nominees have for sound.
Here are the 5 nominees in the category Sound. Fish Startle System, Sonolists. These are fish. This is noise. Fish. Noise. Fish do not like noise. This simple truth is the essence of a recent innovation in acoustic technology, the Fish Startle System from Sonolists Incorporated. Fish, noise. The object of this system is to keep fish away from man-made hazards like hydroelectric turbines, cooling ducts for nuclear plants, even underwater construction sites. Federal law requires that these operations employ the best available technology to protect the environment. Sonolists with 20 years experience working with sonar systems for the U.S. Navy developed a system of generating underwater sound pulses that have been shown to effectively clear large areas of fish. Noise, no fish. The fish aren't hurt. In fact, this system has been used to nudge them into bypass chutes at power plants where they can safely continue downstream away from those obnoxious intrusions we put in their way, where they can find some peace and quiet again. VL1 synthesizer, Yamaha. In the past, synthesizers have basically played back recorded sounds without much expression. The Yamaha VL1 breaks new ground. The result? A keyboard that can deliver real sound in real time through a technique called virtual acoustics.
What we're doing is we're creating a physical model of the acoustic instrument in a computer environment. The result is that it behaves as the acoustic counterpart would. For example, in the case of the penny whistle, if you blow harder in a penny whistle, it will actually move up an octave, as opposed to just simply getting louder. In the case of the VL, because it's duplicating the physics of a penny whistle, when you blow louder, you actually have the mode shift up into a higher octave, just as the penny whistle does.
The new technology in the VL1 allows musicians to play the keyboard breath controller and modulation wheels just like an actual instrument, not just an electronic imitation, achieving a whole new dimension of expression.
Most of the things that you can do with an acoustic instrument from a musicianship point of view, you can do with a VL.
Vibrato?
Growl. Pressure. Musicians are looking for a number of things in synthesizers. One is they're looking for a synthesizer that will reproduce musical instruments, acoustic instruments, extremely well. The other thing they're looking for is remarkably new sounds. The VL does both. And the technology that's sitting in the VL is going to allow us to provide tools to musicians to create amazing new music in the future.
Internet multicasting service. Welcome to Internet Talk Radio, the town crier to the global village. Internet Talk Radio reaches more than 100,000 computer users in 30 countries. Instead of relying on satellite dishes to broadcast interviews or conferences, Internet Talk Radio has logged on to a vast computer communications network called Internet that reaches millions of people around the world. Computers transmit information as data, and the backbone of Internet is high-speed, long-distance data lines.
Well, our sound is again, just data, and all you do is play it. And instead of playing it on your screen, it comes out of your loudspeaker.
And with a sophisticated desktop computer connected to a high-speed modem, it transmits data instantaneously. A user can listen to a program as it's being broadcast, while those with a less powerful computer setup can hear a program after the data has been received and stored.
The big difference between Internet Talk Radio and standard radio is that people can interact with our radio station by sending us electronic mail or by having a little microphone on there and literally talking back.
Well, here you are being chopped into little bits and put on discs to be spread around the world. How does that feel? A little one.
The file is copied onto your computer. There's no reason why you can't pull it up into your audio editor and take a couple pieces and string them together and make your own radio station.
Magnaphone, Magnavox Navcom.
In 5 years, we've gone from the development of the black unit, which weighed over 100 pounds and required 2 transport cases to move it, to the white unit, which was 50 pounds, but still required a large dish. Now we're down to a single briefcase, weighs 30 pounds, and this is the entire unit. This is the Magnaphone MX3030 satellite telephone system. It's used to communicate anywhere in the world via satellite to any other place in the world. Well, in the United States here, we're pretty spoiled by the amount of telephone service that we have. We take it for granted. But if you go to other countries, and countries that are not that underdeveloped, for example, the Soviet Union, we've had people call us up using our product when they couldn't use the telephone that's in their room. You can take this product anywhere, use it anywhere, even if you're away from your Jeep, you're in a remote area, you can still operate the terminal. In order to use the system, you'll have to first aim the antenna. That's as simple as lifting this flat plane antenna up and down, aim it at the satellite. We provided some lights on the display that indicate when you have satellite strength. Once you have that, it's a simple matter of taking the telephone, dialing the country code, the area code, and the number, and the rest is taken care of by the system. Well, in order to make a product this complex, we have to interface many different disciplines. Antenna, power supply, digital circuits, radio frequency circuits, Packaging, mechanical engineering, and finally software engineering is what makes the product easy to use even though it's a very complex product. So what we have here is a system that can go any place, anytime.
Noisebuster noise cancellation technologies. Listen to the world around you. In every corner of the modern world, every moment of your life is filled with noise. In the home, on the road, in the workplace. These noises can be annoying and even harmful. In the past, the only escape from harsh noise was to wear bulky, tight-fitting headsets that blocked out all sounds, including warning signals in everyday conversation. But now there's Noisebusters, a noise reduction headset that cancels out unwanted low-frequency noise.
Where there is noise, where there is vibration, we have an opportunity to attack it and cancel it.
Noisebuster uses a principle called destructive interference. Two microphones in the unit continually sample background noise, feeding the data into a high-speed microchip that develops a mathematical map of the sound's acoustic waveform. The chip then signals the headset speakers to generate noise that's the exact mirror image of the annoying sound, canceling it out. Selective cancellation permits essential sounds to pass freely through the headset.
If someone can be in a working environment, they can be protected from the harsh noise of that environment, and yet they can hear warning signals and communicate with their fellow workers.
My hair okay? That sticks out sometimes.
The winner in the category sound is Noisebuster from Noise Cancellation Technologies.
In this competitive category, most of the nominated technologies took pride in generating sounds. The winning technology, however, eliminates sounds. The Noisebuster eliminates unwanted background noise by cleverly creating an instant and exact mirror image of an offending sound, reducing it to silence.
Apparently our judges are made of stone. They probably vote for companies that have some cool, zippy logo, or even worse, some kind of cute, lovable mascot. Okay, all right. Tell her. I'd introduce the Director of Research and Development at Penn Resources Headquarters, Mr. Melvin Thingamabob. Well, howdy, Melvin. Thanks a lot for coming down and joining us on the show. Good to see you, huh? So, have you ever been to Epcot before? Pretty cool place, isn't it? It's amazing. So I understand that at Penn Resources Headquarters, that everything they make is extremely environmentally friendly. Is that right? Very conscious company. And you've engineered the PT-28 to be completely non-polluting and energy efficient. Nothing ever goes to waste there, does it? No, no. Nothing. Oh, whoa. You okay, pal? Oh, gee. Oh. You okay? You okay? Come on. Hold on, little buddy. Hold on. Hold on. There you go. Oh. You all right now? Huh? There you go. Good, good, good. Oh, and the PT-28 is also wildlife friendly, huh? And wildlife friendly and well, yeah, it's wildlife friendly and all sorts of things. Well, thanks for stopping by, Melvin. Well, there you have it, folks. Melvin Thingamabob and the always amazing Teller. And by the way, Melvin is made from 100% recycled dummy parts. Now, let's see the other nominees in the environment category. I can see it now, Toes. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be Melvin everything. It'll be Melvin pajamas. We'll sell these little Melvin toothbrushes, little Melvin lab coats.
Here are the 5 nominees in the category Environment. V Electrical Power Cell, V Electrical Power Systems.
I was visiting my grandchildren one day, and I was coming back home and noticed on the expressway that the weeds were getting blown by the vehicles ahead of me. The idea came to me just kind of like a light bulb going off as to why can't we use the energy from one source to help reduce pollution for the other source. After doing some research on the subject matter, I found out that the wind power industry as we know it today is basically benefiting from natural wind. So with this invention, then, the idea came to me that we could use the wind going north up the freeway and south down the freeway for bi-directional wind currents and double the efficiency of whatever had been done in the past. We've studied the wind currents on the average urban highway and have been able to determine that clean electrical energy can be produced 18 hours a day and 12 months out of the year. So next we came up with this idea of building turbines into highway energy barriers that would be capable
of harnessing the bidirectional wind currents and swirling those wind currents to produce mini tornadoes for hundreds of times the power that could normally be expected. Having always been an armchair environmentalist, I feel that this is my opportunity to do something positive for the environment and that we can eliminate the potential need for future fossil fuel burning or nuclear power plants and help clean up the air for future generations, including my grandchildren.
Giami Packaging Material, Geopax USA. Packing peanuts, toxic plastics, bubble wrap, and styrofoam. All are harmful. All create waste. One company offers a possible solution, Giami. Giami takes its name from two words, Geo for earth and Ami for friend. Giami is a uniquely slit packing material made from 100% recycled paper. Giami is environmentally friendly. It ships smaller than bubble wrap, and its unique interconnecting hexagonal cells eliminate plastic adhesives. It's completely recyclable. And when you get that present from your cousin, you'll only have to worry about what to do with the gift, not the packing material. Super efficient refrigerator, Whirlpool. Did you know your refrigerator could be better for the environment and save you money? Thanks to this team of engineers, a new refrigerator from Whirlpool does exactly that. Contrary to popular belief, a refrigerator loses more coldness through its walls than it does from an open door. This new super efficient refrigerator design uses a better form of insulation, a low-energy fan, and a smart microchip to defrost the refrigerator only when it's necessary. It also eliminates the common but ozone-depleting Freon gas and replaces it with a more environmentally friendly coolant. Because this refrigerator is better insulated, it's more efficient. And because it's more efficient, it can save hundreds of dollars in energy bills. In fact, it costs about the same to run this fridge as it does to run a single 75-watt light bulb. With most refrigerators eating up a whopping 20% of a family's annual use of electricity, this super efficient new twist on the old standard icebox makes a lot of sense. XL Spectrum Analyzer, Niton. Every year, millions of children are exposed to the dangers of lead poisoning. The old lead-based paint that can still be found in over 40 million homes produces a potentially deadly dust.
That amount of lead dust is harmful for 20 children. 20.
Introducing Niton's XL Spectrum Analyzer, a device which uses low-power X-rays to find the lead.
The solution of this serious medical problem starts with the measurement of the lead. And the XL detector is at this time the premier measuring device.
You release the shutter and press it down on whatever surface it is, and you're through. You keep it down X amount of seconds. You know, in this case, it's 3 seconds, and it's plus or minus 10%. And it hit it right on the button. It has been called the most fundamental change in X-ray fluoroscopy, it's called, in a generation, in 20 years.
When you make a discovery, you know that someone has thought of it before. That feeling that you had of finding out something which is new to yourself is still a very powerful and absorbing emotion. And then when you find out that it's really not known in general, of course, you feel that you've made a real contribution.
Fox Fiber Natural Cotton Colors. Sally Fox was an entomologist advising a cotton breeder on how to control invading insects when she noticed that all cotton wasn't created equal. In fact, it wasn't even all white. But naturally colored green and brown cotton wasn't machine spinnable, making it unsuitable for mass production. Through careful cross-pollination, Sally Fox has pioneered a strong, commercially viable colored cotton.
What I did, my big thing I did, was I've developed naturally colored cottons that are machine spinnable.
Why colored cotton? Because it uses no bleach, no dye, and creates no chemical wastes. After this initial success, Sally is also developing plants which are pest resistant and don't require defoliants.
There's something uplifting about it, and you get the feel that maybe it's not so hopeless. Maybe there'll be other things that come along like this that are going to be improving the environment, but still pleasant and beautiful and wonderful on their own. And I feel real fortunate that I get to do this.
Melvin, the motion picture. Let that winner rip, Mel.
The winner in the category environment is Fox Fiber from Natural Cotton Colors.
Not all innovations have to be high-tech. Sally Fox spent 7 years patiently breeding colored cottons. Although known to Native Americans, these cottons were ignored by large cotton producers because most of them were not strong enough for machine spinning. Fox patiently sorted through thousands of cotton mixes until achieving her breakthrough. The judges commend her patience.
I don't know, we must have done something wrong. Did you handle the paperwork like I told you to? This year, over 4,000 nominations were sent to Discover magazine. Any technological innovation or product containing an innovation developed or released after January 1st, 1992 was eligible. The nominees had to fulfill specific requirements in each category, enhancing the quality of our lives or improving the way things work. All submissions had to be received by April 1st, 1994. The editorial staff then narrowed down each category to 5 finalists, and a panel of outside experts and judges chose the winners. We're up to computer software now, and we don't want to say that much about how we use computer software in the PT-28. We're starting not to trust people around here. All we're going to say is that we developed a sophisticated multi-gigabyte program that allows us to link up to an orbiting satellite for navigational purposes. Here are the other nominees.
In the category computer software, the 5 nominees are Handwriter Dynamic Signature Verification, Communication Intelligence. With everyone crowding onto the information superhighway, keeping computer data private is becoming more and more important. To get into a program, it's sometimes necessary to type in a code or password. Well, now, there's another way. You simply sign your name. It's called the Handwriter's Signature Verification Program. And here's how it works.
To get started, she needs to sign 6 signatures so the system can learn her signature. Once that's done, she can just sign her name to have her identity verified, and that takes the place of a password. At first glance, you might think that all you need to do is just trace a signature and make a good forgery, but the system doesn't work that way. It measures the forces and dynamics behind the signature, not only what it looks like, but how the signature was made. Many people are worried about the fact that they don't sign exactly the same way each time, but our system accommodates that. When the person first uses the system, it gives several samples, so we learn how your signature varies. And we also automatically update the signature in the computer as time goes on to track any changes that your signature might have. There are other competing systems such as fingerprint and voice matching, but signature verification has the advantages of cost, convenience, and user acceptability. We're all used to signing our signatures on checks, documents, and we do it every day. Everyone's going to be attached to computers and networks and have their information instantly accessible to them. But there's a danger because other people may be able to break in and acquire that information, everything from your finances to your DMV records. And signature verification will allow people to protect their private and confidential information.
And even if it's not a name that you're writing, well, the machine will know that too. Adam Software.
A medical student who attends medical college today has to deal with a body of knowledge which is about 20 times greater than it was when I graduated from medical school a little over 50 years ago. And so we have to begin to teach medical students a way of retrieving information immediately when you need it.
That brings us to Adam. Adam stands for Animated Dissection of Anatomy for Medicine, a kind of flight simulator for physicians.
repetition's the big learning mechanism in med school. And if you have the ability on your own time to follow up and try and, use adjuncts like this, you can learn a lot better.
Atom is an interactive medical textbook that allows students to dissect the human body layer by layer through the use of sound and pictures.
Students can take Atom apart, turn it around, upside down. You just can't do that in a book.
Atom can lead us through a particular system.
Medical education, especially as you get further along, is learn it, see it, do it. You can read about it, you can maybe have somebody talk to you, or you can talk with friends about it. You can come in here and you can look at it.
Security Identification System, iris scan. Identifying different people by the different patterns of their eyes has always seemed like just another James Bond type gadget, until now. The founder of Iriscan, John Sidlars, is focusing on the iris to advance the art and science of identity verification.
The iris of the eye, which is the colored ring that surrounds the pupil, contains well over 400 characteristics that are measurable. These include striations, collagenous fibers, furrows, and freckles, all of which are used for personal identification.
To establish your iris code, the first step is to look into a video camera. The computer software then digitizes and analyzes the image of the iris, transforming it into a code that is stored for future verification that you are who you say you are.
The iris and its structure are virtually foolproof as an automated biometric identification system because it lies on the surface of the body and remains unchanged throughout life.
Once iris recognition technology is fully developed, there'll be no need for a wallet bulging with credit cards, driver's licenses, and medical cards. All you'll need is a card with a photo of your iris and your iris code. When a higher degree of verification is needed, Iriscan will identify a person's iris simply by taking a look at the real thing. This way, you can control who enters your home, uses your computer, or drives your car.
Iris recognition really means that for the first time, no one can represent the fact that they are you unless your eyes are present.
Personal Dictation System, IBM.
Computer, check hazardous material Q835.
These people are talking to computers, and the computers are understanding what they're saying.
1 large pizza, pepperoni, extra cheese.
Well, we've announced a family of speech recognition products. This is the first product available in the world that allows you to talk very quickly and allows the computer to respond to an unknown user. So you can issue a command or retrieve data.
Run Spanish translator.
No entiendo español muy bien.
Return to my menu.
With this system, you don't even have to use a keyboard.
Memo to Sandra. Our last 2 news stories were too long to read in an hour.
Notice hour and hour. They sound the same, but the computer knew the difference. It also knew the correct spelling of 2, 2, and 2.
To finally be able to get the product working to the point where a user can walk up and talk to a machine comfortably, easily, and quickly is just very exciting.
Is there a French restaurant nearby?
DNA Visualization, University of Pittsburgh. Every living thing has an intricate molecular structure called DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. It contains the genetic code which determines who and what we are. For the past 18 years, Professor John Rosenberg has been investigating a problem that could change the way we understand every living thing.
My research group and I are trying to find out how proteins find particular places on the DNA, attach to it, and change the DNA or how the DNA works.
This insight will allow farmers to produce disease-resistant crops and help doctors to cure cancers or other illnesses by turning off or turning on specific genes. The technology that has advanced the protein DNA research is the supercomputer and a combination of high-powered computer workstations that do the complex calculations required to produce the simulations of how DNA functions.
I enjoy the DNA and protein research because, well, with the computer and the other equipment that we have here, it's really having the best chemistry set in the block.
I don't know about you, my brother, but I am starting to lose that festive awards spirit. What you got for us?
The winner in the category computer software is the personal dictation system from IBM.
Scientists have talked about talking to computers as if it were some kind of holy grail. Now these researchers have actually found it, a voice recognition system that you or I could easily add to our home desktop computers.
Wow, I'm shocked. You think they discovered fire or something. You know, some of these nominees, they trot out these experts to talk about their inventions. Well, if that's what it takes, we can do that too. I've taken the liberty of asking Dr. Barry Marks, First Aid Commissioner, to lend his expert opinions. Hello, Dr. Marks, how are you? Teller and I would like to explain to you how the PT-28's customized
This is a piece of junk.
Space.
You actually ride this thing?
Well, yeah, we ride it and it lights up the little helmet, but I'm talking about the
No. These wires are not insulated.
Comboing satellite
there's hazardous
guidance.
electrical exposure.
There's a guidance system, and the teller has the little computer, and the antenna goes up, and there's a narrowband
These tires are dangerously underinflated, and this antenna, you're going to put somebody's eye out with this thing. Sorry, going to have to issue a summons. No way you can ride that.
With the satellite and everything, we're able to navigate.
Sorry.
Here are the nominees for aviation and aerospace.
The 5 nominees in the category Aviation and Aerospace are Guard 150 Ballistic Recovery Systems. What you're watching is not a recreation or dramatization. This is actual home video of the flight of an ultralight plane. Watch closely. At 1,400 feet, the ultralight collapsed, plummeting to Earth. Seconds later, a parachute opened, bringing both pilot and plane safely down. The pilot escaped almost certain death because of one thing. His plane was equipped with a rocket-propelled parachute, designed by Ballistic Recovery Systems' Boris Popov.
Every year, 800 people die in general aviation accidents. We believe that we can lower that rate significantly.
The idea of attaching a parachute to an airplane wasn't new, but Popov was the first to make it work and take it to market. 11,000 of the chutes have been sold so far. 78 have deployed, saving 78 lives. The chutes are packed into compact cylinders on the ultralight planes or suitcase-sized containers on small planes like a Cessna 150. They're connected to a small rocket which fires when the pilot pulls the release, deploying the chute within 1 second.
Because accidents are unpredictable, we had to devise a smart parachute. In other words, a parachute that could sense airspeed that would deploy quickly at low air speeds and slowly at high air speeds. This is the letter we just received today. To my friends at BRS, thanks for saving my life and preventing me from serious injury. My chute was deployed at approximately 300 feet. I must admit that when that chute was deployed, it was the sweetest sound I've ever heard. This is what makes it all worthwhile.
Thanks, Boris. You got another one.
Aircar Sky Technology. Aeronautical engineer Kenneth Wernicke is attempting to realize a 30-year dream, the production of an air car that can take to the open road or the skies. He's best known for developing the tilt-rotor aircraft that takes off like a helicopter and flies like a plane. But now he faces an even greater challenge.
I think it's been the idea of having an air car ever since airplanes have flown.
But the approach has always been to take an existing plane and modify it so you can drive it on the road.
Mock-up that you're looking at is a mock-up of an air car that is narrow enough to go down the road in the configuration that it flies in.
Mathematical calculations, wind tunnel tests, and scale model flights indicate that the air car will be a part of our future. Potentially, the air car could change the way we all travel.
I'm a compulsive engineer, so right now I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my whole life because I can just do it night and day almost.
GE90 engine, General Electric. The GE90, the world's newest and most powerful airplane engine, is in the air. In the next 10 years, airline travel is projected to grow by 100%. That means longer waits at the airport, more traffic on the runways, and a greater likelihood of accidents. Developed for use on the Boeing 777, the GE90 engine is the most powerful turbofan power plant ever built. Not only will it save airlines money in fuel consumption and maintenance, but with larger airplanes capable of holding more passengers, it'll reduce airplane congestion and increase safety. That means less noise and significantly fewer polluting emissions. The result of a tightly coordinated multinational design effort, the GE90 will move airplanes and passengers in a way that no engine has ever moved before. Aerobraking maneuvers, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. In 1988, the spacecraft Magellan was sent to Venus to collect scientific information. By 1992, it had completed its original mission, compiling radar maps of the planet's surface. There was a lot more data to collect, but Magellan would have to alter its orbit to get it, something it hadn't been designed to do. Instead of putting the spacecraft out to pasture, NASA decided it could squeeze a little more mileage out of the mission.
At NASA, our focus these days is on minimizing the cost of missions while still trying to do valuable science.
At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, engineer Daniel Lyons developed an innovative method of adjusting Magellan's orbit with a technique called aerobraking, which meant dragging Magellan through the atmosphere just enough to bring the spacecraft into a certain new orbit. The principle is a little like what happens whenever you swim or push something up against water. The water slows you down. For the team, the theory is summed up on their official T-shirt, Carpa Atmospherum.
It means seize the atmosphere.
After a lot of figuring, the Magellan team initiated aerobraking last year. But don't try this at home. Aerobraking is a risky business.
We had to be very, very careful not to get too deep into the atmosphere. If we got too low, we would have burned up the spacecraft, and that would have been the end of the mission.
But aerobraking worked, giving Magellan a second life, gathering more valuable data from Venus, and potentially saving hundreds of millions of dollars on future missions.
I feel pretty good about it. It was exciting to do it and contributed to the advancement of science and the exploration of space, which is what we're all about here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Spyroid Winglets, Aviation Partners. Over the past century, aeronautical engineers have designed planes which carry us further, faster, and safer. But we're still a long way from flying as effortlessly as the birds.
When an airplane flies through the air, it generates lift. This means that it also generates very intense flow field at each wingtip, which is very much like a cyclone, containing a lot of energy. This energy corresponds to drag, which means that the engines have to work harder and burn more fuel. Basically, we have devised a wingtip system, which we call the spyroid, which actually diffuses the cyclone effect at the wingtip and causes less energy to be left in the wake. Since we've reduced the energy, we reduce the drag.
And by reducing drag, the spyroid winglet allows the plane to climb easier and fly with more stability. It also cuts back on fuel consumption by about 10%. Since the winglet can be built for planes as large as a 747, airplane passengers should benefit.
There will be a reduction in fuel burn for the airlines, which reduces their cost. Ultimately, this translates into lower fares.
And the spyroid winglet has another advantage. By spreading around the air that trails behind a plane, it creates less turbulence for other aircraft flying directly behind, potentially making the skies a safer place to fly.
I am not paying this, pal. You were supposed to put air in the tires.
The winner in the category Aviation and Aerospace is aerobraking maneuvers from NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
The judges rewarded NASA's ingenuity in using the friction of a planet's atmosphere to brake the Magellan spacecraft. Although not designed to do this, Magellan muscled into a lower atmosphere and produced an unexpected bonus, a complete Venus gravity chart. The maneuvers worked so well that other NASA missions are now planning to use this innovative technology.
Come down to Florida, have some fun at Epcot, visit the Innoventions Showcase, host this award show, lose every category! I'm allergic to palm trees, for crying out loud. We've arrived at the category of sight. The PT-28 happens to have an excellent ocular system. The faster I pedal, the more light that gets generated in Teller's helmet. Slow down, speed up, bright, dim. No need to bother with those pesky dimmer switches. Impressive enough, Paul, Mr. Big Shot Editor-in-Chief? Listen, man, please let us win something. Just one lousy category. You gotta have some pull with an independent panel of judges. Look, we'll show you how to do some tricks. See? You can cut a rope in half and put it back together. We can show you how to do that, Paul. Only 3 other people in the world know how that's done, and I'm not one of them. And how about this one? Watch this one. See? 1, 2, 3 ropes, all different lengths, short, medium, long. And now watch. Woo! They're all the same length, one after another. Let's see those award-winning, brilliant scientists try to explain that. It defies every known law of physics. How about some flowers, Paul? A nice bouquet for the missus? Your car need waxing? Huh? Waxing? We can wax your car? Spackle! We could spackle for you. We'll even clean your pool, Paul! Use your juice! Your editor-in-chief! You've got the power! Come on, man! Give us something! The other nominees in sight aren't that good, Paul! Please! Something! We're humiliated, Paul! Please!
The 5 nominees in the category of sight are Direct Broadcast Satellite System, DirecTV Thompson Consumer Electronics DSS. If you live in one of the 10 million homes in the United States not yet within the wired world of cable television, here's a little dish that might just change your life. This year marks the launch of the DirecTV Satellite System, or DSS, a new service beaming 150 channels of programming 22,300 miles through space via satellite directly to home viewers. The DSS system, developed by DirecTV and Thompson Consumer Electronics, will deliver cable programming, movies, special events, and pay-per-view options. And thanks to its digital technology, the image will be the quality of a laser disc with CD-quality sound. The receiving antenna is only 18 inches in diameter and has no moving parts, a big change from the old satellite dish, which was 15 feet across and cost upwards of $3,000. The receiver includes a microchip carrying access card, which will keep track of all your pay-per-view purchases. And the whole system sells for about 1/3 the cost of those older, larger dishes. So if you're jealous of those cable-connected couch potatoes, now you can outdo them. Low Vision Enhancement System, Johns Hopkins University. Millions of Americans wear glasses to correct certain vision problems, but sometimes glasses aren't adequate.
For me to read, I'd have to use 2 magnifying glasses.
Now there's Elvis, the Low Vision Enhancement System, which combines hardware and software to enhance damaged vision.
What it consists of are a set of television screens that are projected right into the eye. So there's a set of picture tubes, one on each side, inside these temple arms, which go along the side of the head, and they're projected through mirrors and lenses right onto the film that lines the inside of the eye, called the retina, and forms an image of the screen that's equivalent to looking at a 60-inch large-screen TV from a distance of 4 feet.
Elvis uses sophisticated electronics to compensate for damaged central vision, represented by the black dot seen here. But it can also drastically increase contrast and magnify the image to a suitable level.
It takes the world that you want to see and enhances the image to make it easier to see with the vision you now have.
Elvis is still a bit top-heavy, but for now there's no doubt that it offers hope and independence for those who have seen their world grow dim around them. Flat Vision TV, Panasonic. Conventional TVs are bulky boxes that usually take 2 people to move and never fit where you want them. But thanks to a new technological breakthrough, that's about to change.
This screen is 14 inches diagonal. It weighs 35 pounds complete here with the screen and the base. The depth is only 4 inches. This is the flat vision television. So even though the picture quality is the same, the brightness, the clarity are just the same as you'd get in a TV at home, this set is only 4 inches deep. The breakthrough that makes this television possible is the development in cathode ray tube technology. Most televisions or most screens that are thin like this are LCD screens. But this is a cathode ray tube, actually the same kind of CRT that's available in a regular television. The difference is that instead of one CRT, it's basically a collection of 10,000 CRTs, all beaming their electrons on the screen.
An electronic forest of tiny switches controls the activity, assembling a picture on a machine that's only 4 inches deep.
TV is everywhere. It's in the living room, it's in the bedroom, it's even found under the counter in the kitchen. Television is already in 98% of the homes in the United States. It's in the workplace. It's everywhere. And this particular technology really allows a lot broader idea of what TV applications can be in the future.
Limelight, Austin Innovations. Joe Marishin combined his engineering and marketing skills to create a new energy-saving light.
Limelight is a very simple product. It's a nightlight. It uses a technology called electroluminescence as its light source. Electroluminescent material is a phosphorus material that is excited when wall current or other alternating current is applied to it, and that forces off photons, which gives light. Actually, the limelight looks very much in a darkened room like a full moon. It fills up the room with a nice soft glow, enough that you can see your way around, but not so bright as to be intrusive. From a safety aspect, the most important thing about the product is that it puts off no heat. The limelight is totally cool to the touch, so there's no more burned fingers. And children love to grasp a hold of nightlights because they're very attractive and that they're at their level. The limelight is so flush up against the wall that it's very hard for little fingers to actually grasp a hold of it and pull it away from the wall, so the risk of shock is significantly reduced. Lasts forever, comes with a lifetime guarantee that actually uses less than 2 cents worth of electricity per year, plugged in 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
EOS A2E Eye Control Focus Camera, Canon. Taking pictures would be easy if all your subjects would just sit still. Even automatic focusing cameras have had their limitations. The Canon EOS A2E autofocus camera lets your eyes call the shots. Advanced eye tracking technology designed for jet fighter pilots focuses the lens right where your eye is looking. As you look at a scene, your pupil moves. When you look through the viewfinder of the EOS A2E, 2 infrared beams bounce off your cornea and reflect back into the viewfinder, where an imaging chip records the reflection. The camera divides each scene into 5 zones and automatically focuses the lens on the section where you're looking. All you have to do is look and shoot, and it all happens in a blink of an eye.
Paul, sight, the light. Watch the light, Paul, watch the light. And juggling. Juggling and the light and sight and the PT-28. Oh boy, this could be great.
The winner in the category Sight is the Direct Broadcast Satellite System from DirecTV Thompson Consumer Electronics DSS.
The judges like the Direct Broadcast Satellite System because it combines the best of many worlds. CD quality audio and crisp digital video in a satellite dish small enough that almost anyone could find the spot for one. Beaming entertainment and data from its brand new orbital satellite system, the Direct Broadcast Satellite System has the potential to change the way all of us view television.
Well, that was kind of a humbling experience. I think it's time that we regained our dignity. Here we are, the final category, computer hardware and electronics. The PT-28's onboard computer has been specially engineered for prolonged durability and resistance to the wear and tear of traveling. It's also hard, and Teller wears it. It's so obvious to me now what's going on, Teller. This is an awards ceremony. They're trying to build the tension, the excitement, and we are the hosts. And proper etiquette dictates that we take care of our guests first. They're saving us for last, my brother, my brother. So let's just play the game right, play along with it. I would just like to say that it really doesn't matter to us who wins. It's enough of an honor just to be here with these other great nominees. The sheer love of inventing it's all we need.
Here are the 5 nominees in the category Computer Hardware and Electronics. Glove Talker, Greenleaf Medical Systems.
How are you today?
Everything is great.
Anything you need?
Call a doctor.
The Data Glove, a product of the virtual reality world, is now being used in another world, the world of the disabled. And here it's called the Glove Talker.
Here I am.
The sort of person who might find this product useful is someone who has a combination of a physical disability and a vocal disability.
Here's how I work.
What this product does, it allows you to put on a glove and teach the computer to recognize your gestures. From there, you can have the computer do a variety of things for you. For example, it could speak for you.
I love you.
The system has been designed to be very easy to use. The user puts on the glove and then assigns or teaches the system which gesture means which phrase. For example, one can teach the computer to speak the phrase, "everything is great," by teaching it to recognize this gesture.
Everything is great. Nice to meet you. Can you help me? I am hungry.
I'm very excited about this product because this will allow an expanded way for them to communicate, a more easy way for them to communicate via the computer.
That's all, folks.
Magnaprint System, Washington University. Credit cards, just like people, have a unique fingerprint. Researchers at Washington University in St. Louis have discovered that the magnetic recording material, the stripe on the back of a credit card, has more than the card's account number. The stripe also contains a random but unique collection of billions of microscopic particles which can't be duplicated. Rather than a useless hodgepodge of magnetic noise, the particles provide a positive identification or fingerprint on the credit cards. Using this discovery, Ron Indek and his research team may have found a high-tech fraud stopper that could cool down hot credit cards, which have cost the nation more than $1 billion a year. The same swipe reader that takes imprints from credit cards in department stores could be inexpensively modified to verify the card's magnetic fingerprints. Very soon, making a fraudulent copy of a credit card would be impossible as duplicating a human fingerprint. NI 1000 chip, Nestor and Intel.
This looks like a good potato chip, but maybe the manufacturer decides that this is not a good potato chip. How do you teach a computer what a potato chip looks like? The NI 1000 chip has 1,024 neurons. It's capable of computing at 20 billion operations per second. It has over 3.7 million transistors. It contains over 256 kilobytes of non-volatile memory which is not lost after power off. By comparison to a home computer, your home computer contains only one. This has 1,024 neurons in it. It learns by example. It learns to recognize data. It learns to understand what is being presented to it. We have emergency medical technicians who take life signs and other vital data from an injured person. So instead of waiting hours for the beginnings of a lab report, you're beginning to see the doctors have data within seconds of the patient arriving at the hospital. In the future, the 227 million tax returns that the government processes every year will all be processed by this technology. Mail sorting will be dramatically improved. ATM transactions, credit card approvals, air traffic control, collision avoidance. Now we have the opportunity for people who are not programmers, but experts in their field to teach computers what to do.
Hasbot, Caltech Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Introducing Hasbot 3, the newest foot soldier ready to do battle in the war against toxic chemicals in our environment. Instead of putting firemen in harm's way, Hasbot 3 is ready, willing, and able to seek out hazardous materials and neutralize them. He's even prepared to do a little cleaning. This remote-controlled robot will go where no human should have to. Hasbot is specially constructed, and with a long, strong arm, it can unlock and open doors, maneuver in tight corners, detect chemicals, and move objects at the accident site. Other standard features include a pan-tilt camera, a gas sensor, a laser cueing system, and a motor that just won't quit. The chassis of the vehicle comes with an advanced computer system that keeps Hasbot and the operator in constant touch. With less than 4 years of testing, Hasbot 3 has proven he's a fireman's best friend. Eye-controlled computer, Boston College. With computers more common and more powerful than ever before, it's become increasingly important to find new and faster ways of communicating with them. One such challenge, to develop a system that enables people to control their computers with a mere glance. At Boston College, that's exactly what they've done.
We've developed a system that allows the user to control the computer by moving his eyes and head. The basic idea for the system is we attach electrodes around the eyes, and the electrodes indicate where it is that the person is looking. Right now, we need to put the electrodes on individually on the user. We would like to put the electrodes into a virtual reality helmet so that when we put the helmet on, the electrodes would attach up automatically.
Kid Pix it is.
We're interested in applying this technology to help the disabled.
The computer controlled through the eye gaze technology would allow them to access the computer faster. In the case of Chrissy, it takes a lot of effort to use your head, where if she could just look at something on the computer screen, she would be able to make a choice a lot faster and quicker without much effort. Yeah, excellent. It allows them to have a better life. It makes them happy, more independent members of society.
I'd like to thank my mother and my father. You know, Mom and Dad Gillette were... Oh, Gillette, you know, when they engraved the awards, are you sure they did two names for me? Because sometimes, you know, our names are Penn and Teller, and they were going to put that, but no, that's when we perform. When we're inventing, it's Penn, Gillette, and Teller, and it's J, make a note, J-I-L-L-E-T-T-E. And if I forget to thank my sister, give me a little nudge, because I want to do Mom and Dad, my sister, because that family angle is good. And I also think I should walk up on stage first, because sometimes we want to make a big presence, and I'm a lot taller than you. And okay, you run the remote this time, I'll go on stage first. That's the way it'll work. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my sister. That's where we start, and then
the winner in the category Computer Hardware and Electronics is the NI1000 chip from Nestor and Intel.
Computer chips process information quickly, but they generally don't do it the way humans do. The NI1000 chip is different. It actually mimics the workings of the human brain. Performing 17 billion simple operations a second, this chip is about 1,000 times faster than the current systems that run on software. It's this kind of chip that the judges feel will lead to the next generation of computer.
Okay, we came up a little short tonight. We'll admit that. The winners came up with some pretty good stuff. But losing a few awards, that's not going to stop us from climbing right back into the trenches alongside our distinguished peers and colleagues in our never-ending quest to improve the quality of life for us all. Everything we've seen here tonight helps make the world a little better place to live. New inventions are being developed every day. The promise of the future is limitless. And wherever technology goes, you can bet that Penn and Teller will be right there with it. Next up, the P&T 28-2. Oh, and there's always that magic and comedy gig to fall back on. just in case. We're Penn and Teller. Good night from Epcot here at Walt Disney World Resort and Discover Magazine's Technology Award.
Discover Magazine's Technology Awards was videotaped at Walt Disney World, Florida in Epcot. At Innoventions, a showcase of near-future products and technologies. This is John Kramer speaking.